Hello Kenrg, here are my answers to your 4 questions. Number 1, my earliest memory. Now this was actually really quite hard because after you asked the question, are you sure, I realised that all my early memories were based on photographs. So I looked through all the early photo albums and then tried to actually think of a memory that was never photographed. So it wouldn't be my earliest, but I do remember being about 5 or 6 and dressing up in my mother's clothing, a really ugly old wool suit. The skirt would have been a knee-length skirt, but it went all the way to the ground on me, and her big ugly shoes and one of those little little plate-shaped hats with a little bit of mesh that came over the front. And I had a Magilla gorilla doll with ears that stuck out like this, and it held a banana in its hand, which I used to shove in its mouth and pretend it was a dummy. And I dressed my Magilla doll up in baby clothes and pretended it was my baby. And I remember people saying to me, "Looks just like you." And that Magilla, my mum saved it for me, but gave it to my older sister's first child, the first grandchild in the family, and it got burnt in a fire, so I no longer have Magilla, which is a bit sad. My favourite pet, this was a hard one too, because I was never allowed to have dogs when I was a child. I remember bringing home one little Labrador puppy that got run over before my parents had a chance to get rid of it, and another dog that I only had for a couple of weeks before it was taken to the dog home. So I only ever had cats as a child, and I've only had 2 dogs as an adult. One of them was Wilbur. He was a Shih Tzu. He died 3 years ago at the age of 16. We got him when my youngest son was only 18 months old, so he was a special family pet because he went right through my whole childhood of my children. But he became really bit of a grumpy pain in the end there. And just most recently, my cat died. She was 17. Her name was Wilma, but we really just called her Pusscat. She was a little ginger cat who died just a few weeks ago. But she was the most affectionate cat ever. She used to jump up. She would jump up on the back of the chair, and if you were sitting back in the chair, she would just headbutt you and nudge you, and then if you turned around, she'd nuzzle you and give you a little kiss. So she was a really beautiful cat, and I miss her. She's lovely. First concert I ever went to was when I was 16. I went and saw The Sweet, and the lead singer, I've forgotten his name, long blonde hair, had laryngitis, so wasn't that great a concert, but that was my first concert. And the best concert I went to would have to be a toss-up between taking my 3 boys to see Michael Jackson back in 1996. That was an awesome experience. And just recently in September, going to see the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra playing the orchestral TubularBelles. That went for 25 minutes, and I cried for the entire time. So if I had to pick one, I'd have to pick that one, I think. And my YouTube username, you've probably already worked out by now, TubularBelles, the album, my favourite album. I first heard it when I was 12 years old. I'm now 46. It's still my favourite album, and I use that username on the Mike Oldfield fan site and any other site that I'm a member of. So there's the answer to your 4 questions. Thanks for your time. Bye.